Hello everyone, and welcome to another match of the 2022 Roulette Rivals World Championship. We are about to begin a Group C doubleheader. On the other match, casted by Joker J, we have Roman of the Far East versus Rocky Horse, but our match here is Ebramehdi versus GuLe. Starting in Colorado, chosen by Ebramehdi, which you can see why this is one hell of a tactical choice by Ebra. 9 appearances from GuLe, yet to win a map. But could just happen here today since Ebra himself is yet to win in Colorado, so it should be an interesting one. The second map is New York, chosen by GuLe, and we will see his win rates there. That is obviously his comfort pick. But yeah, Group C, not a lot of matches in this group just yet, mostly because of an early forfeit, so only 7 players in the group. Partially because of members being away for a bit. But things should get back into order and players should be able to catch up by then. At least they have at least a week to do so anyway. First win is here, and this is a good one. Sean Rose, Explosion Accident as Hacker, Penelope Graves, Consume Poison as Militia Elite, Ezra Burke, Injected Poison as the Scarecrow, and Maya Parvati, Fiberwire as the Militia Soldier. Double live, and technically triple live if you can't count the Consume Poison as that. It's going to be a spin where you don't isolate either Penelope or Ezra. Technically Sean is the only kill where you can, or you should, or you have the option to KO the target, but you can also do a drive-by there, especially as the Hacker. So should be interesting. Let's give it a bit of an Ebra sound. Hopefully it works out. I can turn this one up and yeah, just let me know how the sound works. Maybe you have a bit from Ebra. I'm just worried because GuLe likes to tune in to this stream between maps. He's one of the big veterans of this game, just for fun, but I don't want to hear any echoes from my end. Ebra with a Hacker start, and yeah, that's the only KO Ebra can do here on Sean Rose. Propanes aren't too far away from here, so this could even be a 1 minute kill, a minute 30 kill, or not much longer than that. Could even argue for an early Scarecrow kill. Well, from Hacker start it doesn't really work out to grab the Scarecrow. With the potential West Bridge it would have been a bit easier, but we'll have to wait a bit longer for that. Luckily these two targets, Ezra and Penelope, have different cycles and they return to the main house at different timings. Closer to 5 minutes for Ezra and 7 for Penelope, so it's a big buffer for sure. But of course Penelope is a Consume Poison kill, so her timing doesn't really matter here anymore. Just the 5-ish minute poison kill which matters. Militia Elite is a free disguiser, so it's really a problem to get. And yeah, this will be a problem for GuLe. 1 monitor for the 4 kills and the same monitor for playing, so you'll have to do some alt tabbing. But he does start with the Scarecrow grab. Looks a bit close on the Technician on the right hand side, but gets back in there nicely. Now this is 105. Since he triggered a conversation, that's a bit uncharted territory. Has a bit more time to take care of this body and maybe even infiltrate the bottom floor. I think the conversation has ended though, and the dosage has been adjusted. Yeah, there we go for GuLe. Ezra is coming here now. Yeah, I think hiding in this direction would be nice, because then it would be an easy poke on Ezra, but has he gotten the Injected Poison yet? Yeah, there we go. So that will be the first kill, as long as it doesn't change early, that is legal as well. Could hide the body, could keep it as is, but he will opt for a body being found in a couple seconds. Shouldn't be any lockdowns there because no targets are nearby. Ebra, following the isolation Sean, is now going for Maya. He has the correct disguise, it's a low-key militia soldier and the fiber wire, which you have to bring it in, but no problems there, and Ebra has the first Maya kill.
Maya Parvati is down. Good work.
GuLe is near the canteen area, there are no disguises nearby, but perhaps the militia soldier could be nice to get from here, and he's looking for some chaos. No spec ups, no pointmen, so the barracks itself isn't required. Who is the one reacting?
Security's in the house.
I think that soldier down the stairs should he go. Relatively empty area. That's a good question, Color. He's asking where will they drag Ezra's body. So the main house has one spot where the bodies are being dragged. That's why it's never a problem to do falling object and fall kills, and it's the room adjacent to the main room with not the evidence, but the other room with those two elites. I think it's a bit of a long check to get him there, but for some reason something tells me that, yeah, he would have ripped by now, but something tells me that the basement is just off limits for this. GuLe hoping to poison this bottle, and I think this is fine actually. I might be remembering it's wrong, but he's looking straight down, so he would never look at the bottle. It's just fake out. Regardless, there's a poison setup, and Ebra is the hacker, trying his best to make this explosion accident happen. It's going to be a significant amount of waiting for these two hackers at first, but then becomes the militia elite and wants to wait out the consume poison timing first. It is going to be in the next minute. We know that Penelope is back at the house by 7 minutes, and that follows a significant walk from the greenhouse. So I would imagine it's 5.5 minutes or just a bit longer. But the correct disguise is there. Even if so, that observer, our admin today, would be on top of things as always. Or would it be possible that Ebra didn't set up the poison? I think both of them had. It wouldn't make sense at all to do this second cycle, but it's the 5-minute timing for GuLe. And with some main house shenanigans, it will be longer though for Ebra, since he did start hacker and triggered Penelope's Iago hidden hand conversation. So that's probably a minute-ish. Ebra might be feeling a bit anxious that timing or the seconds are ticking, wants to become the scarecrow, cannot blend in, doesn't want to either yet. It's going to be a matter of seconds here.
Yeah, it's a big decision. What if she takes the bait?
This is going to be painstaking, but there's the kill. Still cannot blend in. Most of the cycle he can't, but hiding is fine. Unhiding is what can cause trouble, so it's a rare occurrence that there would be any problems there. And Mehdi is good on timing. I think he will spot the bodies before the kill can be done. No, luckily not. So that's a very nice injected poison. Now 3 kills. And just Sean, explosion accident remaining. GuLe is 2 down and 2 to go, with the Maya fiber wire being the difference. GuLe is trying to make this explosion accident happen. Could it be possible that he plays an item for Sean, because that propane was in a fairly random position? Well, there's still chance for a silence pistol backup. The whoosh is there. Sean dies and there's Starriot lockdown. And when these sorts of accidents happen, you can always be a bit wary of some psychic shenanigans, but GuLe gets away with this one and just one kill remaining. He has the 5-wire, he set up the militia soldier here, so it is now just a straightforward wait for Maya. I couldn't tell you the third cycle. He's missed the second one, which would be around 5-6 minutes. But... oh, she's actually outside. GuLe can actually finish this one in about a minute or so. But yeah, he needs those coins because he's late for the second cycle. Hail Mary of a coin keeps Maya outside. And the coin trail will maybe save this run, as Ebramehdi has become the hacker, will be picking up this propane flask, and it is just one last setup with a firearm can get this kill. So Ebra will be the first one to finish, of course, and it's PC for GuLe against the console of Ebra, so it's unlikely to change the result. We could have a technically photo finish range of finishes, but GuLe just cannot finish this in time, and Ebra will take Colorado either now or in a couple of minutes after the photo finish. Loading times are counted. Valiant effort and first tries, if I'm not mistaken, for both players. 909 in a sort of challenging spin with a lot of live aspects. And that is unfortunately 10 Colorados and no wins for GuLe. But he's no slouch here. I think that's been clear throughout the last 11 minutes. I think this will be red guns though. It should be red guns, goodness me. I suppose it was far enough away from from the bushes or from the slurry pit so that no one else noticed. But here's the big thing for GuLe. This is really unfortunate. For some reason, some patching, repatching, he needs to infiltrate the tornado shelter. So even if he had been the first one to finish, he still would have needed to do the whole forced first exit. It's not that he's his first try, first attempt here, but I would say that it's been some repatching there, or some settings, some... So what's the quick solution here? Some local data was changed? And yeah, it's quite funny for GuLe. Obviously, I have used a person who had finished Colorado before. But it might just be your first time ever, which is very impressive for someone with full mastery. Unfortunate, but luckily the score didn't change, and we will go to New York next.
2 more to locate.
15 past the hour, and well, it's hard for me to say about the spoiler policy. There is the multi-twitch, which I mentioned before, but there is a parallel match. I want to just mention it again. Joker J is live with Roma versus Rocky. So we will know a lot more about this group once these 2 matches finish. And we might be ahead because there is no result from the other match just yet. And especially with New York coming up next, we might see another result quick enough. Tactical pick by Ebra for sure, at least the Colorado. But next up is GuLe's favorite map, GuLe's best map, GuLe's most picked and play map with 14 appearances, 7 wins and 6 losses. But obviously my eyes always try to find the odd one out, and let's see who did GuLe draw to and when. Oh, it was his previous match against Rommel. And, well, if it was a Roulette Rivals 1 or 2 match, then you could be arguing for a tie, but there's been a photo finish draw, no doubt about it. So now 7-6-1, and a loss here would put him, put his New York win rate back down to 50%. For now, it's over that. So with this draw, it is actually a 53.6% compared to the 0 and the 1 of Ebra. Just one target here, of course, and always the potential for really quick spin. 215 is the quickest New York spin to date. There are a few combinations which are naturally faster than that. Naturally lower than the 2-minute in-game time mark, but it would have to be some investment banker and crash stock strat to go below 2 minutes, sorry. But for now we have Athena Savalas, Silence SMG's Fired Banker, which is something that you have to bring in, something that eliminates the chance of a double Chang strat, and will force you to be more careful with who to use your Changs on. Could this mean a single Chang or 0 Chang clear out of the office? Could this mean a snail on both of the disc holders? Or perhaps a KO approach on Matteo later on, but GuLe definitely starting a security guard, always mixing up these actual namings of the guards, but GuLe is going for, sadly, the applicant, which is not going to be great, and so we'll be ready to send a message after the kill is done, because there's not a lot to say here, obviously. This will end up as a wrong kill, unless GuLe checks the spin, like, right now. the image is what helped, because he remembered the Fired Banker's sweaters, and this wasn't looking like that. That's funny, and also very lucky that it didn't happen a minute and a half later, or a minute later. So now he still has a chance. Ebra with a important setback, the EMP bounced off the table or below the table, so it did not take care of the evidence. And are those not red guns for GuLe? Oh my goodness. He just went and got those 2 KOs. And now definitely has the lead in New York. Yeah, after mixing up the disguises, he was still being able to take the lead there. Ebramehdi needs to be, not even gonna say more careful. He was careful with the EMP, but I guess you can always be a bit safer. You can place or drop the item even. I have to see his next approach. A minute 2, 3, 4 seconds for GuLe, which means that Fabian is about to leave the conference room, and that will be GuLe's second disc rather, but no tranks used, as I say that. Which leaves him with 1 more for the office. And I think that's the really fascinating part of the spin. How do you clear the office with 1 trank? Athena is coming back. And this is going to be the central guard, usually the one being tranked. Moves out of range for a second, but gets the Chang, and this is the important part. I think that was an early KO. We'll have to see about that one. Wrong firearm and red guns kept from the early KO, sadly. The last guard even had a question mark and turned towards the other 2, so even that could be a bit too late. Doesn't work out for GuLe this time. Ebra's turn to clear out the office starts with a briefcase throw, which is guaranteed to get out one of these guards. Snail could help. The Trank has been dropped, but I think the Snail will be for Fabian at this point. And what else does Ebra have? I think the peekaboo is in his repertoire indeed. That is really full and found chest passing in the end. That was so solid by Ebra, but just a bit too long. Just a bit too big of a whoosh. Another unfortunate restart. GuLe now 30, more like 40, 45 seconds of a lead by the time Ebra gets back to the map. And GuLe has the quickest chat. But it does feel a bit risky, and I think there are two guards that can rip this run. Not only the second one, who's being KO'd too early, but of course the third one, who has the tendency to turn around too quickly. Ebramehdi replan means that no chank will be used on Matteo, which just reinforces the idea of a KO or a snail, and leaves 2 chanks for this office, which I think Ebra will not mind. I think it will speed him up a bit here. But it's a minute of difference of in-game time, and at this point it's hard to call, but still in GuLe's hands. The chank was not early, that's for sure. And the question mark was not appearing on the last guard, so green guns are back. And GuLe is in a really commanding position to take this map. Ebra in the office already, so it does feel like less than 47 seconds, but all objectives down for GuLe. And Ebra, I think, is looking at a 3-minute in-game time. So should GuLe finish in the next 10 seconds as he does, even before that thanks to the delay, I can't think of a result where Ebra can get this right in 47 seconds. So that's a GuLe win, and GJ. Right when Ebra gets the green gun kill on Athena as well, but too little too late. And GuLe can immediately realize that he has won the map, that if it comes to a photo finish, then he has a really commanding lead, and of course a couple restarts to go with it. But once the time ticks down, as it does right now, GuLe takes the second map, which means that we are going to the decider of this match. Doesn't really decide a lot, other than who will be crowned the winner. Every point matters the same, no matter if it's 2 points at the first map or 2 points at the last map. But I think both of them will be happy to take Marrakesh and get a win from this. So Marrakesh, I think I just wait for the stats to come up here. I don't really have a lot planned at the moment. I can talk about the group as in the meantime. This is Ebra's 4th match, and from a total of 18 points, he scored 17, only tying Haven Island and winning the other 8 maps, sweeping Rocky Horse, Exotic, and well, almost sweeping Rommel in the process. GuLe has 2 points from 1 match. He has started against Rommel as well, after a New York tie and a Colorado draw. If you can hear the differences, like Colorado did go to the full 30 minutes there, and New York was too close to call. But another 2 points from New York this time, and another 2 to be gained, and Ebra is hoping to keep his unbeaten streak alive in a group which is really turning out to be a 2-horse race at the moment, with Ebra on 17 points, Blight on 16 out of possible 18. Zirun, a match behind, has 7 points, a win and a loss, losing to Blight on the opening weekend. And there's still Rommel, Exotic, and Rocky Horse in this group. And as I said, it's not a lot of matches played so far. after these two, we should have a clearer picture. Even though Blythe and Zerun aren't playing, we should have a clearer picture of who's fighting for the top 4 here, who's fighting to advance. Now from GuLe, one of the most experienced players, with 42 matches played since RR1, this is his second recorded Marrakesh game, which somehow sounds ridiculous. And his one Marrakesh came in RR7 and was a loss against Osh. So from someone who has speedrun this game for years and years and played roulette from the very beginning, only one appearance on this season 1 map, but it is still one more than what Ebra has. But judging by experience can go either way. I'm trying to see. I don't think I can tell you what place GuLe finished last year in his group. That was Group H back then. Still have 42 seconds. I'm gonna race against the clock to find out. But he has played in 2 previous World Championships. That's not something a lot of players can say. Yeah, GuLe finished 6th in the eventual World Champions group. From that group, Danny Buta, Blythe, Speedster, and David advanced. And then in 2020, he finished 9th, well, in the World Championship. So he advanced from his group and then finished 9th in the brackets. I think Ebra is looking very likely to make it to the knockout stage in his first World Championship, even if he wins or loses this map. For which the spin is here. Reza Zaydan, injected poison consular janitor. Klaus Strandberg, sniper rifle is Monsieur. Well, from the lots of approaches of this map, this is one that feels a bit more vanilla, or perhaps a pneumatic strat which brings Reza all the way to the consulate. Because what would make sense here is, at least theoretically, to make him sick and get the Klaus kill done and catch Reza while he's in the toilets of the consulate. Because you are allowed that as a consular janitor and the body wouldn't be even found, or it would be found perhaps, but it wouldn't be a problem rather. But it can be also a strat that is just preferred to be vanilla, with 2.5 minute timing. You have to see about the strats, and we're going for the safe consulate start. GuLe as well. I think they might be looking at a quicker kill than the 2.5 minute mark, which just makes the whole thing even smoother. Now for the double emetics, for Reza to go to the consulate, I think you would need to get him, have his phone call. He needs to be in the corner next to the telephone and the safe. And when he's there, he should be, or he tends to be going to this consulate bathroom. If he stays in the middle, if you're quick enough with the seeker shot, and then he should go to the Shisha Cafe. I'm not the biggest Marrakesh connoisseur, and there are people who are doubting this being 100%, but still wanted to say that this is what feels like to me the catch. We have missed the restart from GuLe, perhaps even 2, but those were early ones, and dodging that one janitor is a really important thing, but he doesn't lose his enforcer status. On the contrary, there is going to be now a guard with an exclamation mark. GuLe gets through the area, but still needs to open this door. Has 2 items to open a door with. And it seems that against all odds, he has made it to the office of Klaus. And I think with good timing, with late timing, he needs to throw something here.
Yeah, I think we're clear.
I think the window has passed here, and GuLe's next chance is the 2.5 minute timing, but he's going to do... I think it's Cherry Blossom, if it's called in the consulate, and Honeycomb in school. And after some dodging and weaving, there is still an enforcer in this room who's searching. It's a guard, it's not a panicking NPC. Everyone has the dots in here, and I don't think GuLe in the end managed to call Razor, so I'm not sure what the safe was for. The safe being open will make Klaus puke at the 6 minute mark, but it's just strange to me that you would go back and forth for this. Am I missing something here? I think GuLe just wants to call him in later in favor of missing Reza if Cherry Blossom is called so early, because GuLe is now forced to do the master kill at 2.5 minutes and can't really get to the fire barrel before 5, but I think it's still a fine timing, honestly. But of course the players can feel it differently. They can have their own doubts, especially in a match environment. So we are going to have to leave GuLe at that, who might be missing this Klaus timing anyway. Oh, Blunt has the answer. This only works one way, but if Klaus is killed during the call, then Reza turns around. If Reza is killed during Honeycomb, then Klaus still is set on his tracks, so it's just a one-way thing, apparently. Not a lot of talk about Ebra so far in his first 3.5 minutes of the run, but he got the clown star installation, and I'm pretty sure he had the Monsieur.
Let's go thank him, shall we?
The difference here is that he didn't have the agency pickup yet, so he's now going down here using some propane explosion, which 8 out of 10 elite soldiers care about. And yeah, it's the way back, and with this you should be able to grab the keys. This is a bit close there. Obviously the enforcer should be guarding it, and Ebra will bite the bullet and take some time here to get those keys and lure the enforcer around.
Command, still nothing. Stand by.
3 enforcers there. Of course, Ebra really wants to go the same way back, even though the main entrance would not be trespassing. And now a naked enforcer with a gun is the gatekeeper, who luckily will be changing clothes on the ground level and not below that. Interesting developments for Ebra, but has now everything for for the Klaus skill. Yes, that's a naked gun. It's a nice reference. And I don't really see anyone coming in this room. There should still be no reason to do so. There's no boxes or closets here. So Ebra with the Klaus kill. GuLe with the Klaus kill in a few moments, but he will go for the mission story. And see, this is something that I hate to rely on, because when it happened to me casually years and years ago, that makes me want to not do a mission story years later. But I do think that Klaus will be checked upon in a few minutes, sadly. But I would love to be proven wrong here. The kill is here. And I think there is a universe when you can tuck Klaus behind the corner well enough so that he won't be seen and GuLe will be hoping that this is the day for that.
Sorry, sir. I can't let you through here. Please move on.
Well, if we suppose that GuLe is successful, then we have a very close race at the moment, because GuLe can call Razor to go to the tunnel. But Ebra is only one radio lure away, so it might just be a minute better here.
You're in. Good work, 47.
GuLe has made
Now
up a
to
lot of
locate
ground, and
General Zaydan.
I think that's the main culprit here. The only one guard who comes in here. Of course, GuLe knows his mission story is much better than I do.
What anyone says.
Or rather, the 2016 mechanics. Going to take it safe. And gets out to the room. No mission story, no call just yet, but he can take back the console janitor disguise and make his way back to the school. And with a really straightforward way to the school, is now set up for that one distraction following the school intercom lure. Not sure why it took me so long to come up with that name. But it's a very straightforward Marrakesh happenings here. One GRB to avoid, which has been successful. And the animation has ended before Ebra got to any bodies. He really wouldn't change disguises anyway, since the exit is right there, and less than 8 minutes into his first run, less than 10 minutes into the spin, Ebramehdi takes Marrakesh and the match as well, keeping his win streak alive. 100% there. GuLe with another 2 points after his first match. Just the one in New York to take from this one. That's the confirmation. And the final result, Ebramehdi 4, GuLe 2. Yeah, I was a bit early, I think. I didn't leave a single second for Observer to update this, so I give him a chance to interact. There's Ebramehdi with 21 points now from 5 matches, 4 actual matches, because the Geneva forfeit has been issued as a win, as a 0-0 win to be exact. And GuLe is on 4 points after 2 matches and 4 to go. That one win is then the forfeit. But so far so good for Ebra, and Blythe will have to sweep his next match to keep up with him. Going to be a really fascinating battle for first place, with potentially Zirun or Rommel catching up. GuLe at this point in time is hoping to get top 4, but so far so good with maps taken or points taken on both of his matches. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to Observer for adminning this one, and GG's to both Ebra and GuLe for playing. We will now watch the other game from Group C. As I said before, it is Rommel vs Rocky Horse, another Group C match. Enjoy. Bye bye.